DeKalb County 911 got a call just a little earlier, and well, this is a weird situation. The dispatcher follows standard procedures, and caller is talking about her brother. Well, he died. Says a minute ago, maybe two. Dispatcher asks her to check for a pulse. There's nothing. Her brother is 31. Her brother was sick. Kept coughing blood, throwing up blood. He was sick for 2 days, maybe a little more. Would not go to the doctor. He said nobody could help him. Wasn't acting right. He appears to have had paranoia. He said everyone was gonna die. The caller thinks her brother moved, even though he's dead. Well, from what I can tell, it appears that the caller's brother attacked the caller. Yep, impact, glass breaking. Officers were almost there. Well, by that time it was too late, and this led to a horrible, horrible situation. We will update you tomorrow morning.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Georgia Emergency Management Agency. A local area emergency has been declared for portions of DeKalb County, including the city of Decatur. Law enforcement agencies are responding to an ongoing public safety incident involving multiple violent individuals. Residents of the affected area are advised to remain indoors. Lock all doors and windows. Do not approach individuals displaying aggressive or erratic behavior. Do not gather near active emergency scenes. Allow emergency vehicles access to roadways. Additional information will be provided as it becomes available. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Georgia Emergency Management Agency. A civil danger warning has been issued for portions of the Atlanta metropolitan area. Authorities are responding to a rapidly evolving public health and public safety emergency. Residents are advised to remain indoors, except in cases of emergency. Do not approach persons displaying the following symptoms: bloody coughing, bloody vomiting, bloody diarrhea, severe paranoia, hallucinations, extreme hunger, unusual aggression. If an individual displaying these symptoms becomes unresponsive or dies, do not approach the individual. Do not attempt to move the body. Do not attempt resuscitation. Immediately contact emergency services. Law enforcement and public health personnel are actively responding. Additional information will be provided as it becomes available. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Governor of Georgia, the Georgia Emergency Management Agency, the Georgia Department of Public Health, and the Disease Surveillance Agency. A civil danger warning is in effect for the entire state of Georgia. State and federal authorities have confirmed the presence of a dangerous infectious disease. Individuals infected with this disease may display bloody coughing, bloody vomiting, bloody diarrhea, severe paranoia, hallucinations, extreme hunger. If an infected individual dies, reanimation may occur within 1 minute of death. Reanimated individuals are extremely dangerous. Do not approach reanimated individuals. Do not attempt to restrain reanimated individuals. If a deceased person exhibits movement, immediately evacuate the area and contact emergency services. All hospitals, nursing homes, funeral homes, morgues, and medical facilities are directed to implement emergency deceased person protocols. Citizens should remain indoors and avoid all non-essential travel. State and federal authorities are actively responding. Additional instructions will follow. This is not a test. Repeat. This is not a test. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Governor of Georgia, the Georgia Emergency Management Agency, the Disease Surveillance Agency, and the Georgia Department of Public Health. A shelter-in-place warning is now in effect for the state of Georgia. All residents are advised to remain inside secure structures. Do not travel unless directed by emergency authorities. Do not approach individuals displaying symptoms of reanimation syndrome. Do not approach deceased individuals. All doors and windows should remain closed and locked. Residents should avoid attracting attention to their location. Citizens are advised to maintain a minimum of 7 days of food, water, medications, and essential supplies. If a member of your household exhibits the following symptoms: bloody coughing, bloody vomiting, bloody diarrhea, severe paranoia, hallucinations, extreme hunger, contact emergency services immediately. If a person dies after displaying these symptoms, leave the area immediately. Do not attempt to move or transport the body. The Georgia National Guard has been deployed to assist civil authorities. Further information will follow. This is not a test. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Governor of Georgia, the Georgia Emergency Management Agency, the Disease Surveillance Agency, and participating federal agencies. A civil danger warning remains in effect for the state of Georgia. Confirmed incidents of reanimation syndrome have been reported in multiple counties. Travel is strongly discouraged. Do not attempt to leave urban areas unless specifically directed by authorities. Roadways must remain available for emergency response personnel. This emergency is expected to continue for an extended period. This is not a test. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Governor of Georgia, the Georgia Emergency Management Agency, the Disease Surveillance Agency, and participating federal agencies. An evacuation immediate has been issued for designated portions of DeKalb, Fulton, Clayton, and Gwinnett counties. Residents within the evacuation area are directed to leave immediately. Follow designated evacuation routes. Do not deviate from official traffic instructions. Checkpoints have been established along evacuation corridors. All evacuees should bring necessary medications, identification documents, food, water, and essential supplies. Individuals displaying the following symptoms are not to enter evacuation transports or reception centers: bloody coughing, bloody vomiting, bloody diarrhea, severe paranoia, hallucinations, extreme hunger. If a death occurs during evacuation, immediately report the incident to emergency personnel. Do not attempt to transport deceased individuals. Do not stop for unauthorized persons along evacuation routes. Further instructions will be provided at the reception centers. This is not a test. The following message is transmitted at the request of participating state governments, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and the Disease Surveillance Agency. A civil danger warning is in effect for portions of Georgia, South Carolina, and Alabama. Incidents associated with reanimation syndrome have been confirmed in multiple states. All citizens should continue to shelter in place, unless otherwise directed by emergency authorities. Unnecessary travel should cease immediately. State and federal authorities are establishing containment zones in affected regions. Do not approach individuals displaying symptoms of reanimation syndrome. Do not approach deceased individuals. If a death occurs in your presence, immediately create distance between yourself and the deceased individual. All medical facilities are directed to continue emergency deceased person protocols. The public is advised that this emergency may continue for an extended duration. Further information will follow. This is not a test. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Department of Homeland Security, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the Disease Surveillance Agency. A civil danger warning is in effect for the United States. A multi-state public health and public safety emergency is currently in progress. The public is advised to follow all instructions issued by local, state, tribal, territorial, and federal authorities. The following symptoms have been associated with reanimation syndrome: bloody coughing, bloody vomiting, bloody diarrhea, severe paranoia, hallucinations, extreme hunger. Individuals displaying these symptoms should be reported to medical authorities immediately. If an individual dies after displaying these symptoms, do not approach the deceased. Do not attempt transportation of the deceased. Immediately notify emergency authorities. State and federal resources are being deployed to support containment operations. Additional guidance will be provided through official channels. This is not a test. We interrupt normal programming. This is a national emergency. All broadcast stations and cable systems shall transmit this message. The following message is transmitted at the request of the President of the United States. Please stand by for a message from the President. WSB-TV will remain on the air providing news and information to the Atlanta area. If you are not in this local area, tune into a station providing news and information to your local area. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. The President of the United States, or one of his representatives, will speak on the air shortly.
My fellow Americans, tonight, I am speaking to you regarding the ongoing Reanimation Syndrome emergency affecting portions of our nation. Over the past several days, state, local, tribal, territorial, and federal authorities have been responding to an outbreak unlike any emergency faced in modern American history. The federal government confirms that individuals infected with reanimation syndrome may exhibit violent behavior following death. Federal agencies, the National Guard, and the armed forces are actively supporting containment operations and the protection of civilian populations. The government of the United States remains fully operational. Essential services continue to function. Emergency responders across the nation continue to serve with courage under extraordinarily difficult circumstances. I ask every American to remain calm and to follow all instructions issued by emergency authorities. If an individual displays symptoms associated with reanimation syndrome, report the situation immediately. If an infected individual dies, do not approach the body, do not attempt transportation, do not attempt resuscitation, await trained emergency personnel. Tonight, I have directed all appropriate federal agencies to devote every available resource toward containing this outbreak and protecting the American people. The American people have endured war, disaster, and hardship throughout our history. We will meet this challenge as well. Further information will be released as it becomes available. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
We interrupt normal programming. This is a national emergency. All broadcast stations and cable systems shall transmit this message. The following message is transmitted at the request of the President of the United States. Please stand by for a message from the President. WSB-TV will remain on the air providing news and information to the Atlanta area. If you are not in this local area, tune into a station providing news and information to your local area. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. The President of the United States, or one of his representatives, will speak on the air shortly.
Five days ago, I addressed the nation concerning the outbreak of reanimation syndrome. Tonight, I must speak to you with complete honesty. The outbreak has continued to spread despite the efforts of local authorities, state governments, federal agencies, the National Guard, and the armed forces of the United States. In some areas, containment has failed. In others, our forces continue to hold. Many of our soldiers, police officers, firefighters, emergency medical personnel, and volunteers have given their lives protecting their fellow citizens. The nation owes them a debt that can never be repaid. Tonight, I am authorizing the public release of information previously classified by the United States government. Reanimation syndrome is not a new disease. Federal records confirm previous outbreaks beginning in 1795. Additional outbreaks occurred in 1814, 1864, 1903, 1933, and 1941. The last known outbreak ended in 1953. The current outbreak is the seventh recorded occurrence of this disease in American history. The Disease Surveillance Agency and its predecessor organizations have maintained records of these events for more than 2 centuries. Many Americans will ask why this information was withheld. Those questions deserve answers. Those answers will come. But tonight our focus must remain on survival. Current assessments indicate that the coming 14 days will determine the future of our nation. Military planners, public health officials, and disease surveillance agency experts agree that the next 2 weeks represent the most dangerous phase of the outbreak if we maintain containment, if we preserve essential services, if we protect one another, then the United States will endure. If we fail, the consequences may extend far beyond our borders. Entire regions could become ungovernable. Critical infrastructure could collapse. The survival of modern civilization itself may be placed at risk. I do not say these words lightly. I say them because every American deserves the truth. Tonight, I ask every citizen to do 3 things. Remain sheltered whenever possible. Follow the instructions of emergency authorities, and do not lose hope. Across the country, soldiers stand watch. Doctors continue their work. Scientists search for answers. Communities continue to support one another. America has endured impossible moments before. We will endure this one as well. Hold fast. Help your neighbors when it is safe to do so. Preserve what you can. The next 14 days will be difficult, but they will also be decisive. May God bless you. May God protect those standing in harm's way. And may God bless the United States of America.
We interrupt normal programming. This is a national emergency. All broadcast stations and cable systems shall transmit this message. The following message is transmitted at the request of the President of the United States. Please stand by for a message from the President. WSB-TV will remain on the air providing news and information to the Atlanta area. If you are not in this local area, tune into a station providing news and information to your local area. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. The President of the United States, or one of his representatives, will speak on the air shortly.
My fellow Americans, this will likely be my final address to the nation. For weeks, Americans have fought with courage, sacrifice, and determination against the spread of Reanimation Syndrome. Our police officers fought. Our firefighters fought. Our doctors and nurses fought. The National Guard fought. The Armed Forces of the United States fought. And ordinary Americans fought to protect their families, their communities, and one another. Tonight, I must report that all federal containment efforts have failed. The outbreak can no longer be contained within the United States. Confirmed outbreaks now exist across multiple continents. The nations of the world are reporting the same collapse that has overtaken our own. Europe, Asia, and Africa have infections. Civil authority has failed across large regions of the globe. Communications with numerous foreign governments have been lost. The systems upon which modern civilization depends are failing. Even as I speak, men and women across the world continue to fight for their survival. We have faced this disease before. Our predecessors faced it in Darien in 1795. They faced it in Baltimore. They faced it in Andersonville. They even faced it at Pearl Harbor. For more than 2 centuries, generation after generation sought to understand it, contain it, and one day destroy it forever. They failed. And now, despite all our knowledge, despite all our technology, despite all our resources, we have failed as well. Earlier today, the Disease Surveillance Agency transmitted what may be its final official statement. I will read the final line of that statement now. We have failed Nathaniel Adams' dream to one day rid the world of the plague that had Darien lit up in flames. To the surviving citizens of the United States, the government may fail, cities may fall, the world you knew may already be gone, but humanity is not yet extinct. As long as people endure, civilization endures. As long as people remember who they are, hope endures. History will not end tonight. Its next chapter simply belongs to those who survive. Before I conclude, I wish to leave you with several passages that have brought comfort to many during times of suffering. From Revelation chapter 9, verse 6. And in those days men will seek death and will not find it. From Revelation chapter 6, verse 8. So I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And the name of him who sat on it was Death, and Hades followed with him. And power was given to them over 1/4 of the earth, to kill with sword, with hunger, with death, and by the beasts of the earth. And finally, for those who continue forward into an uncertain future, from Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff. They comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. May God watch over you. May He protect those still fighting, and may He guide those who survive into whatever comes next. Goodbye.